Hello, hello. This is Taylor Ursula of That's So Pisces. And it's time to talk about this Scorpio new moon. So let's jump in. This Scorpio new moon is taking place on Monday the 13th at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So if you tuned into my Scorpio season video, you know that this moon is gonna be startling, surprising, shocking, upsetting, fill in the blank with the Uranian word of your choice. This new moon is directly opposite Uranus in Taurus at 21 degrees. And soon after the moon meets the sun, it goes on to oppose Uranus, and the sun later that day moves into the opposition as well. So it's very much embedded in the spirit energy vibe of this new moon time. Now, by this point, we will have already encountered oppositions to Uranus twice, with Mercury making the opposition last week just before the Leo third quarter moon, and again with Mars making that same opposition a week later, just before this new moon. So a Saturday leading up to this Monday new moon. So the surprises may have already unfolded before us in some way, if not once, twice already leading up to this point. And the sun is really where we are moving in to possibly integrate all of this information that's been sort of surprising us for the past couple of weeks. And the moon is helping us sort of communicate what these changes have meant or are meaning, sort of emotionally connecting to this information. And so this might be a time where we are really seeing ourselves creating new intentions built around the surprises that have been emerging around us. We're figuring out how to integrate what is coming up. We are resolved to do so. We have the kind of grit and determination to dive into whatever material is surfacing at this time. And that's partly catapulted by this new moon being ruled by Mars, which again has already made this opposition just a couple days before this, but also which is en route to meet with the sun a few days after this new moon. You may have heard me say in the Scorpio season video that this is the first Mars cazimi in Scorpio since fall of 1991. So this is some pretty big energy. This is some pretty new stuff. This is closing out a cycle that has been this many years. It is helping us renew a connection to our instincts, our drive, our motivation, our emotional attunement to the environment that we're in. And so this new moon may be really potent, may be very key to helping us start to get a sense of what that cycle is bringing forward for us. What are we attuning to? What are we starting to kind of harness at this time? And I love all of this, particularly because if you've watched my videos, we've been talking about how we're closing out a chariot year and we're preparing to enter into a strength year, which is very much about attuning to our instincts, understanding our drive, understanding our sort of our temper, our sacral energy, our like passion points, and what relationship we have to them. The moon enters Scorpio on Saturday, the same day that Mars is going to be opposing Uranus, and immediately it enters into a trine with Saturn. So we've had a lot of oppositions to Saturn, a lot of squares to Saturn. Right now we're sort of getting the trine to it, and that makes me think about building longevity into what is initiating at this time, what changes we are integrating at this time, knowing that we are moving into something in the long term in some way. On Sunday, the moon in Scorpio opposes Jupiter. And you may remember that the full moon in Taurus saw the moon meeting Jupiter in opposition to Mercury and Mars. So there may be some full circle that's coming about following that full moon activity, whatever was coming up then for you, a lot of energy was culminating on that day. So there may be some sort of reflection back to that, or some sort of continuance of whatever those themes were. So on the day of the new moon, we have the moon meet the sun, and then oppose Uranus, and then conjunct Mars, and then trine Neptune, and then sextile Pluto. So there's sort of a grounding of this energy that happens. It's cracked open with Uranus, or it continues to crack open the way it's been cracked open, or the cracked open, like Janice Ian, over the past couple weeks. And then it's sort of diffused with Neptune. It sort of emulsifies in some way, or it like nebulizes in some way. It becomes spread throughout us. And then it's sort of grounded by Pluto. It's sort of like deepened within us. We maybe understand, kind of getting a sense of what this is connecting to more deeply within us. Again, those strength vibes, tuning into that kind of sacral energy and thinking about what is this like connecting to deep within me, and what is this activating for me? And that Neptune energy is interesting to be mindful of, because when the Sun and Mars meet on Friday later this week, they will be both in trine to Neptune before meeting. So both the Sun and Mars will trine Neptune on that day when they then meet, and bringing some of that Neptunian, like, again, that sort of diffusiveness, that sort of mistiness, nebulousness, right? And so that's what is being sort of forged into this Mars cazimi that's happening. So we'll see the beginning of that in this new moon, as the moon trines Neptune leading up to this potent day. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull some cards. We'll get a sense of what we are kind of becoming aware of, what we're awakening to perhaps at this time, how that's being integrated, and what that means for us moving forward in this lunation cycle. I'll see you there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So, as always, you can find the free PDF to pull for yourself at the website in the description of this video, priestessbaby.com. And that is free, and it has all the moon phases, so you can pull along with us. And it feels important to note too, I forgot to mention this in the transit portion, but we should be mindful of the fact that this is also the first new moon in Scorpio without an eclipse, right? For the last couple years now, we've had Scorpio new moons as eclipses present with the South Node. And that may be part of what is electrifying about this new moon. It is taking place in a house that has been vacuumed, that has been like purged of lingering emotional processes or mechanisms, right? Been cleansed of previous like wounds and things we were holding on to. And so there is absolutely this opportunity to like really start fresh in this space in a way that we haven't experienced. So just adding that into the fold. Okay, so as we pull cards today, we are looking at a cycle that begins for us now. What has been cleared away to allow for this shift? What this new cycle may look like as it unfolds, and lastly, how we can ground our ideas and intentions now. Okay. Oh, all right. This is cute, deciding where we want to go, right? We'll see if that shows up again, but it's a nice little omen, like it's a clean new house, right? So where do we want to go next? What do we want to see happen in this space? Okay, let's go ahead. All right. Okay, let's see what we got here. So a cycle that begins for us now. Cute. Love that. Love that for us. Okay, awesome. Yes, a cycle that begins for us now is the Two of Wands. We are thinking about where we want to go. We are making decisions. Twos are decisions, right? The ace is, here is an idea. Here's a possibility. Here's something that is brand new, or here is something that is resurfacing in a way that now has space. So this Two of Wands showing us, where do we want to go next? What kind of experiences are we hoping to have? What kind of spaces and places and people are we hoping to explore, right? We see like this sort of simulated image of the entire universe. If you're familiar with this deck, this is the image that is the Fool. And so we are from a distance seeing what is possible in front of us and deciding kind of where we want to start. What's our entry point? Where does this journey begin? How do I start down this path? What does that all look like? What choices do I need to make as I decide what's going to happen? If we think about this being reversed, perhaps, I mean, I don't want to because it's a cycle that's beginning, so I want to think it's positive, but if this is bringing up for you the fact that you haven't known what choices to make, then this is where this is going to come very like front and center. You will be asked at this time, awakened perhaps to the need to start this planning, or to maybe zoom in a little bit on this. If it's feeling overwhelming, if it's feeling like, wow, that's really big, I have no idea where to start, then you're being asked to kind of zoom in just a little bit on something that maybe feels right, something that maybe feels good, and get a sense of how you can just take that small step, right? Okay, cool. Cool. What has been cleared away to allow for this shift? Okay, so some sort of vision, some sort of big plan. Maybe we've tapped into this vision. I love that we've got like the early wands and the end of the wands. The king is the final court. The king is the mastery of the vision. Are we realizing that we've done this work of envisioning, that we've done this work of mastering what this big blueprint looks like, and that is what's allowing us to then move into the on the ground steps of choosing where we begin? Okay, I've gotten a really full sense of what this feels like within me. I've been able to describe this and share this with others in a way that has activated something within them, because I am playing this role of like embodying this possibility for other people and allowing people to find their own way toward it. And that's what's then allowing me to shift into this space of, okay, so let's decide where we're going to start then. If I've gotten the master plan down, now I can figure out where we kind of go in and what that looks like. Perhaps we're coming out of a period of feeling stuck on the vision. Perhaps we've been doing this inner work up to this point of figuring out what we want this to look like. Spending time alone and channeling and tapping into our intuition, figuring out where we are resisting playing this role or where that's feeling blocked for us. And so either way, some part of this process has been cleared away to allow us to open up this new cycle. What this new cycle may look like as it unfolds. Wow, well, that's dreamy. Okay. Before I get too gassed up about this, all these wands getting me all lit up, let's consider the reversal of this. So what this cycle may look like as it unfolds. Maybe we are getting a sense that what we've been connected to is no longer feeling like the end goal. And the Ten of Pentacles reversed can feel really upsetting to us at times, because this upright is such a happy card, such a prosperous card. We are not just alone in what we've accumulated, we are sharing it with others, right? This is a big castle with a large rose garden and a big rainbow. So this is too much space for one person. Like, everyone come and join me in this. The people I'm closest with get to share in these resources with me. And we've reached this point of culmination. So we feel sad often when we see this Ten of Pentacles reversed, but let's consider it. if we are deciding where we want to go, we may come to recognize that where we currently are is no longer the foundation that is solid for us. Whether it's being changed by some of the other people involved that we're sharing with, perhaps we no longer need or want the same shared resources, perhaps our goals together have changed. I now want to go this way. I've like fully channeled and mastered this new vision and this new blueprint, and so I want to move toward it. Maybe we don't fit together in this castle anymore. Maybe I need to leave the castle. Maybe someone else needs to leave the castle. Okay. So as the cycle unfolds, we may start to recognize where something that was fulfilling for us is no longer in some way. Not quite the emotional gut punch of the Eight of Cups, okay? It's not necessarily like the emotional component, and maybe I'm speaking too soon, like we don't know what's under here. But for this moment, we're thinking about kind of some of the practical, tangible details. The space we share is no longer ours, or the space we share no longer holds my sense of joy the way it once did. Something of this nature where we are recognizing that we might want to start divesting from what has been established. And if this is upright, then we're thinking about, oh, this new cycle is unfolding in a way that I'm recognizing that I'm reaching some sort of culmination point with some people I have been sharing with a person in particular who I'm building a home with whatever that looks like. So for some of us, let's imagine it's some of both, right? As we are beginning to explore where we want to start, we might get glimpses of, oh, I want that to be part of my world. Ariel style, part of my world. I want this to be incorporated into what this looks like in the end. And also some of what I'm currently seeing is not what I want to incorporate into this big picture down the line. And I'm sort of getting a sense of what fits into my vision, the vision we've mastered, what tangibly, practically fits into my vision currently and what doesn't. And just getting a sense of what physical part of our lives currently lines up with what we're currently opening up to. Okay. All right, let's see what's here. How to ground our ideas and intentions now. Well, that's lovely. Wands and Pentacles. Okay, this is so cute. If we are, again, in this process of a little bit of both of what we've described here, seeing some of what we do want and like and is good and we want to keep, seeing some of what we want to start divesting from, then how we ground our ideas and intentions is by kind of finding a team that we're building with, right? Again, we've got these sort of end of the line cards of the suit, right? The 10 is the end of the minors, the king is the end of the courts, and then we have these earlier cards of the suits sort of showing us where we start over, where this cycle has peaked in some ways and where we are now going back and doing some beginning work. So I love the Three of Pentacles. It's about teamwork, right? It's about everyone having some sort of knowledge or expertise or specialty or opinion or something, some sort of valuable contribution, even though they are different, even though they are different ages, different races, different genders, different in however many ways. We all are bringing something fruitful and important to the table that is going to be part of how we're going to build something together. So I love that we've got a 2 and a 3. We've got like the plan and then the relationship to the plan. How do I start tangibly building toward what I've been envisioning and what I've been telling other people is like how we're going to kind of explore this. We can think about this being reversed, and perhaps we're thinking, okay, I want to ground my ideas and intentions by doing that reflective work of thinking about what my team even looks like. Maybe I've been without a team. Maybe the team I've been with is separating for some reason, or we need different things. So what would it look like to be part of a team that could start to work together and build something? Who would I need? What sort of area, what do I bring to this contribution? What do I bring to this table? And then once I know what I bring to the table, I can get a sense of what I would need other people to bring to the table, and that could help me get a sense of who I should start reaching out to. So however this lands for you, we're thinking about who we can collaborate with to begin this work of building towards something. I love this. Okay. I appreciate that there were no like sad cups in here. Again, this is certainly like a triggering, this can trigger a lot when we think about this being in reverse, when we think about something being broken down or taking apart something that we have spent this whole suit building and sharing with others, right? But we also recognize that there's something new to be built. And maybe it's with the same people, maybe it's with new people, maybe it's some of both. But there is excitement about what is possible when we work together and when we think about what that team looks like. Okay, this is very interesting stuff. I'm so curious to hear about how this lands for you in the comments. If you enjoyed this, please like it, please share, please subscribe. We will talk next week about how this lunation cycle is evolving. Okay, I will see you then. Thank you so much for tuning in.